The information contained herein is intended to help the viewer successfully navigate common IRS and Department of Labor requirements to help achieve successful results from their IRA. The information is not intended to replace information from your legal counsel or income tax professional. IRA Club does not offer or sell any investment. All investments have risk.
Welcome, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2025. I'm here today with Dennis Blitz, president of IRA Club. We're so excited to have you join us on the very first episode of the IRA Club podcast, our very first episode of 2025. And I know a lot of you have probably changed your calendars. So with that being said, Dennis, is it still okay to make a contribution for 2024?
That's a great place to start because you can still make your 2024 contribution all the way through April 15th of 2025. So if you haven't completed your 2024 contribution or even paid it yet, please make it before April 15th of this year. Now, here's the catch that most people don't know about, and that is you can even start, if you know somebody who wants to start an IRA, start a brand new IRA, a 2024 IRA, up to April 15th of 2025. Now, you might say to yourself, why would I want to start a 2024 IRA if I'm doing it in 2025? I'll just start a 2025 IRA. And the reason you may want to do that is because what will show up is that you have made a 2024 contribution and you still have the whole 2025 contribution that you can put in. In other words, you can put in a double contribution if you remember to set your 2024 in 2025 before April 15th. So if you know anybody who's thinking of starting one, remind them they can do that. Or if you haven't completed your contribution for 2024, you still can do that.
Yeah, so this is definitely a great time to make both contributions for 2024 and 2025. If you are having that startup account, it's a great way for you to invest in a self-directed alternative investment because you're able to have so much more buying power with your retirement funds because, as Dennis said, you're able to put money in for last year and the current year that we're in. So this is a great opportunity to really beef up your self-directed IRA. And then in the last episode that you did with us, Dennis, you talked a little bit about Social Security and sort of what we are about to see in the next few years, and it's not looking really good. Do you want to maybe touch a little bit about that?
I do, because there have been some improvements in the outlook. Not great, but just some improvements. We'll take any improvements because, it looks pretty bleak for Social Security. And the improvement is, this sounds like it's not an improvement, but it really is. They have increased, or Congress has passed a bill to increase the retirement age for Social Security. So the new retirement age will be, born in 1959 or before, your full age of retirement is going to be 66 and 10 months. So it's a little higher than it used to be. If you're born in 1960 or after, your age of retirement will now be 67. So remember, the old 65 is gone. 66 is gone. Now it's 67 for the people born in 1960 or after. Now you say, well, that doesn't sound like much of an improvement. Well, it really, really is an improvement, because what that has done is it has pushed off the date where Social Security is going to run out of savings. And now Social Security won't run out of savings based on these numbers until May of 2035. It was all the way down into 2032 for a short time, 2033. Now it's May of 2035. So in 10 years, Social Securities will run out of savings. Let me explain very briefly how Social Security comes up with the money to pay out. They have two sources of funds. They have the source of taxes that are coming in, and they have a savings account. Social Security has a large savings account dwindling as to make the payments. Now, what's happened is that savings account has been dwindling and dwindling, and it will run out right now with the new dates in May of 2035. So the Social Security Department has already told everyone that they will continue to pay after the savings runs out, but they'll only have the tax income to pay from. And consequently, everyone will get, according to Social Security, will get 83% of what they are used to getting. So that's a big, hit. Well, we're putting off that hit a little bit, and it looks now like Congress is going to slowly adjust that date up, that retirement date up from 65, 66, 67. It'll get to where it maybe should be, hopefully by, the time that we need it. Okay.
Perfect. And then just to touch base on Social Security real quick, I know that you and Ramis have talked in the past about just the importance of we cannot rely on Social Security alone. We need to make sure that we are setting money aside in other tax sheltered accounts, such as a self-directed IRA or an HSA, because Social Security is not a pleasant way to live if that's your only source of funds when you are retired.
I don't have the exact numbers, but the Social Security has said in their releases that if they do cut to 83%, more than 50% of Social Security recipients will be living below the poverty line. So let me also talk about another change in Social Security that's going to give them a little bit more money, and that is they're going to collect on more of your earnings. Now, in next year, starting in 2025, is this year. In 2025, they will collect their 12.4%. That's what Social Security costs. 6.2 is paid by the employee. 6.2 is paid by the employer. The 12.4% will be collected on the first $176,000 of earnings. That means for the vast majority of us, we're going to pay Social Security on every dollar we ever make. Now, just to put that into perspective, last year, the Social Security was collected on the first, let me pull it, 168,000 instead of 176,000. And the year before that, in 2023, was only on the first 160,000. So that amount that they collect upon is going up and up pretty rapidly to help buoy up the ability of Social Security to pay. Just to put that into perspective, if anybody is around that remembers when Social Security started, not very many of us, it started in 1937, and the Social Security cost at that point was 1%, not 12.4, was 1%, 0.5% by the employee, 0.5% by the employer, and it was on the first 3,000 of income. So Social Security is getting to be pretty costly.
So we talked a little bit about the importance of contributing to a retirement account, not just relying on Social Security. And we talked about still making your contribution for 2024. And here at IRA Club, at the end of the year, we are always excited to see what the contribution changes are going to be for the next year. And what's exciting is there are some really nice changes as far as how much you can contribute to your retirement funds, whether that's an IRA or a solo 401k, or maybe your 401k at your current job. So there's some really exciting things happening if you're age 60 to 63. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that, Dennis?
Exactly. And I wish it was for everybody, but if you have a 401k, again, at your job, or maybe you own the company, they have increased the catch up for people, as Kasha says, from 60, 61, 2, and 3 to $3,750, from $1,000 to $3,750. So that's a pretty big catch up. So if you have a 401k from your employer, or you are solo employed, so you can make this additional contribution of $3,750.
Yeah. So again, you can contribute to the previous year, 2024, if you haven't done so. If you are over the age of 50, you could have a catch up of $1,000, whether that's a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA. And if you have an employee plan and you're age 60 to 63, you can put in more money. So definitely a great way to beef up and use these tax advantaged accounts to grow your retirement and hopefully invest in alternative assets with IRA Club. Another thing I wanted to cover really quick are inherited IRAs. And for the last few years, there have been a lot of changes as far as the beneficiary, if the beneficiary is spousal, if it's non-spousal, if it's a trust. So it feels like things are always changing when it comes to inherited IRAs.
It certainly does. And inherited IRAs have gone through, again, another set of changes. So basically what they're saying now is that if you are the beneficiary of somebody's IRA and that somebody died in 2010 or later, 2010 or later, you have to empty their account by the end of the 10th year, December 31st of the 10th year. So if they died in January or February, you really have 11 years. The reason for that is that the original concept of an IRA was to support your retirement. It wasn't supposed to be there to benefit the third generation, a fourth generation. It wasn't there to be rolled over. And the old rule kind of allowed that to happen. So what they're now saying is you have to empty the beneficiary account in by December 31st of the 10th year. Now, there are four types of people that don't have to follow that rule. And this is where beneficiaries get a little crazy because they keep making exceptions. And those four types of people are surviving spouses. They can keep that IRA. Now, the surviving spouse used to be able to put the spouse's IRA in their IRA and go forward. No, they do have to be kept separately now. A little extra paperwork. The children of the deceased person who's under 21 doesn't have to get it out by the end of the 10th year. The named beneficiary who is less than 10 years younger than the decedent. So inevitably, when I say that, somebody says, what if the beneficiary is older? Well, if the beneficiary is older, they're less than 10 years younger, they don't have to clean out that account by the 10th year. And lastly, a person who is chronically ill. Now, when I say chronically ill, please don't look at the Google definition of chronically ill. It's way too soft. This is the IRS definition of chronically ill, and you don't want it. You are at least, and certified by a physician, you are at least unable to do 2 of the daily 5 functions of life. I don't know what that was called. I just blanked out on the name. But there are 5 functions that we all have to do. We have to bathe. We have to go to the bathroom. We have to be able to feed ourselves. We have to be able to dress ourselves. And if you cannot do 2 of those, that would qualify. So you're pretty sick. And the other one is people who are going to pass away from their disorder. And the Google definition of that is you're going to pass away in 10 years. The Internal Revenue Service definition is you are likely to pass away within 2 years. So you don't want to be chronically ill, according to the Internal Revenue Service definition. So everybody else, though, has to empty the account by the end of the 10th year. Now, there even is a twist there, if you care, and the twist there is all the people listed here have to clean out the account by the end of their life, except one, and that is the surviving spouse. The surviving spouse can transfer money to that next generation, but that's the one.
One other thing I wanted to say about inherited IRAs, and just to remind our listeners, is that IRA Club does set up inherited IRAs, whether that's a Roth or a traditional. We will set up the account here for you. That will be an inherited IRA, and you can still invest those funds. So we will, assist you in setting up the account and assist you in executing your investment. But you, as the account owner, you will choose the investment. The other thing that you are not able to do, unfortunately, is contribute to that inherited account. You can still contribute to your own, but you still have the power, the investment power. You have the power to make all the decisions. And so that inherited account will hopefully grow in a self-directed space. So we are here to administer that account. And because of all these new rules with inherited accounts, we always suggest that you work with your CPA to just double check all these rules. But we are happy to establish your account and help you invest in these alternative assets.
I'm very glad you said that, because people do become overwhelmed with all the rules on termination of the account at a death. And IRA Club really does work with you and walk through that in a as calm and peaceful of a way as possible.
Absolutely. So for someone who is going to start investing this year, what are some things that they should keep in mind? What are some goals and intentions that they should set as they're looking forward?
That's a fun question. And it's fun because, I've been working at events for so many years, and I see so many people talking about, this is my goal. And the goal generally goes like this. I want to have 6 houses paid for in my IRA for when I retire, and that's going to be good. Or I want to have 8 houses in my IRA, or I want to have 10 houses in my, whatever the number might be. And they talk about that long-term goal. And then I see them a year later and I say, how's it going? And they say, well, I want to have 6 houses. How many houses do you have? None. I don't have any. And we go on year after year after year. And I think, and I'm not an expert on goal setting, but I think that people set their goals improperly. I think when you make that goal really big, I'm looking at the final target, it's overwhelming. You don't quite know where to start. You can't, you don't have the money now, but I'll have it next year. Don't worry. What you want to do is you want to set that interim goal, that short-term goal. If you want to have 6 houses in your IRA or 8 houses or whatever it might be, you've got to start with 1. And so your goal is just buy 1 house with your IRA. Now, I know houses have gotten very expensive, or whatever it is has gotten very expensive. It doesn't matter if it's the houses or not. So if your IRA can't afford, and we'll use a house now, if your IRA can't afford to buy a house, remember your IRA can partner. It can partner with your spouse's IRA, can partner with your cousin's IRA, can partner with your buddy's IRA. So IRAs can partner. IRAs can even partner with yourself. So let's say I have, this much money personally, and my IRA has this much money. Together, they can buy a house. So you can even partner with yourself. One thing you have to remember is that it is our responsibility to make sure that when the money funds come out, they go back to the IRAs or to the investors pro rate to what they put in. So if your IRA put in 42% and you put in as an individual 58%, we're going to take the money out and show it that exact way. It's not going to go all into the IRA or all to you. It's percentage in, percentage out. So you want to set, those interim goals, those realistic goals. And let's say, as I said, you don't have enough money. Yeah, you can partner, but you can also invest in a syndication. I want to be in real estate, but I can't afford a house. There are many, many syndications out there that are professionally managed, that do very, very nicely. And one thing I want to remind people about that invest in a syndication is you have a job when you've invested in syndication. People think that investing in that, well, there's a professional manager, they're going to take care of it for me. So it's set it and forget it. And it's not. You have to stay in touch with the syndicator. Always stay in touch with the syndicator. We're going to build a building at this address, and you drive by and you don't see any activity. Boy, 2 minutes later, you're on the phone with that syndicator saying, hey, there's no activity. What's going on? Maybe there's a good reason. Maybe there isn't. So you want to always stay in touch with that syndicator. So remember, when you are investing and somebody else is investing the money on your behalf, a syndication, many other kinds of investments, stay in touch with that company. We every now and then hear, I haven't heard from them in a year and a half. I don't know what's going on. Well, that's your fault.
Yeah, and a couple of episodes ago, we had Carlos Lee from our investment compliance team talk about the importance of due diligence. And so, as Dennis mentioned, I think it's important to keep that line of communication open, reach out to them, and hopefully they are reaching back out to you. They're giving you updates. We know that a lot of the properties that our clients have, they're getting updates on, remodeling or what's going on in the community, or that hopefully the area is growing. So hopefully that communication is there with your investment provider. And I think what Dennis is saying is just to start with small, tangible goals. So definitely you want to establish your account first, fund the account. And so whether that's a transfer, we can assist you with that, or maybe a previous employer plan rollover, we can also assist you with that. Or if you're going to be doing a startup account, set up automatic contributions. You can do monthly, quarterly, weekly contributions, even if it's a couple of dollars every month. Get that money in there. As we mentioned, you could do it for 2024 and 2025. Do a set it and forget it. So get money into these tax sheltered accounts. Do your due diligence. Listen to a couple of the webinars that we do. We always have guest speakers come in and educate our clients about the self-directed space. And then another great thing you could do is read Dennis's latest book and just watch our videos and read our blogs and listen to the podcast to educate yourself. And then go ahead and if you are comfortable, go ahead and make that investment in the alternative space.
I want to add one last thing before we go. We also had a little milestone, not us, but America had a little milestone last December. And that is, last December, we passed 1 million IRA owners that have $1 million in their account. 1 million people have $1 million in their IRA account. I haven't talked to all people, I assure you. However, I can bet those people never missed making a contribution.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time, as a thank you for joining our podcast, we want you to go ahead and visit iraclub.com/podcast. And there you can sign up for Dennis's free book. This is a great book. It's not too long, and it has many tips on what you could do with your old 401k or your IRA. It's called Money Making Ideas, and this is your 16th book, 17th book?
No, this is 16.
16. So Dennis has written a lot of books. Again, this is a great resource for you to just get started and learn about self-directed IRAs. So go ahead and go to iraclub.com/podcast to get your free book from Dennis Blitz. Thank you.
Thank you.